Well, it's Uncommon Fossil, taking a look at Iron Thorns EX and considering what Shrouded Fable has brought to this. This is just a very basic quad Iron Thorns deck. It's got the initialization ability as long as in the active spot. Any Pokemon with a rule box, both yours and your opponents, don't have any abilities except for future Pokemon. So most decks aren't relying on future Pokemon, but they're relying on abilities. Pheasantipity, the EX, the new card, that shutting down that affects a lot of decks. And Charizard, Pidgeot's one of the top decks, highly impacted with this, and Gardevoir EX, another one of the top decks, highly impacted there. So potentially, this is a very good disruptive deck. It is a bit matchup dependent, but the attack isn't bad either. You're putting some pressure on, and it is enough to win things besides just shutting down your opponent. You will take prizes and work through them a little bit over time, so you need to slow down your opponent with the ability. But Volt Cyclone for Lightning Colors does 140 or 120 if you have a double turbo, which this deck plays. Then you do move an energy from attached to this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Now, sometimes you don't have anything on the bench, you don't worry about it. But when to have on the bench, when not, and where to move the energy that's one of the major decisions to navigate in this deck successfully. I'll say that. So, but the new cards from Shrouded Fable, I do include one Night Stretcher. I'm not sure if this card makes the deck better, but I thought it gives some flexibility to put a Pokemon or a basic energy and just come out into my hand. I don't have any Pokemon recovery, so late game getting a Pokemon back from the discard pile is good, or getting a basic Lightning Energy into hand is good as well. But the main card, which I think is a big improvement to the deck, is Colress's Tenacity. Search your deck for a Stadium and an energy card, reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck, and it just says search for any energy card rather than, so not just a basic energy, but can be a special energy, so we can get our double turbo energy. This list plays Legacy Energy, so really like it in this deck. Been testing it out some. I think it is a big upgrade. So let's take a look at the deck in action, and then at the end, I'm going to give a review of the 60 cards in this list and my thoughts about where this particular list is and how it might change, what improvements you could make to it to deal with some different situations. All right, choosing heads here. We'll go. I don't know. Do I go first or second with this deck? That's one of my. I'll go first because I shut down their abilities potentially, and it takes 2 attachment. Now, if I go second, I do have TM Energize in the deck, but okay, not bad. I can get an energy attached and get set up for my next turn, so not bad at all. If I went second, I could then play my Arven and gotten one or two Pokemon onto the bench, and got my tool and accelerated onto the bench, which wouldn't have been bad either. So first or second isn't a bad thing. Okay, so this I'm just going to attach the double turbo and pass. So not bad at all there. I have Earthen Vessel, I like that. I could Arven. I have options here, right? I have options. The Iron Bundle's a bit annoying. I do one-shot them, so assuming it's sitting in the active, I will knock that out, take the prize lead, and then I don't have to worry about it gusting me. But obviously, if they switch it to the bench, I do have to be concerned. All right, so Chien-Pao backs Caliber, I assume. I mean, I haven't seen a Chien-Pao, but probably going to see that. I shut down its ability, so that's good. Now, they do play Canceling Cologne, most likely, in large part because Radiant Greninja. But they also can't use Radiant Greninja's ability as long as Iron Thorns is here. So, right. Now, obviously, Radiant Greninja is only a 1-up because it's a Radiant. I assume they play it. Okay. So I'll take the knockout, and we'll see what happens, right? They're Metal Weak, right? So I don't knock them out. They might knock me out, though. So I have to be concerned about that. So I will play the Arven. I will get Techno Radar, which is a really nice tool, and I will get my Future Booster Energy Capsule. Very nice there. I will Earthen Vessel, and I will get rid of. I'll Colress Tenacity. I'm not sure. Area's not bad to ditch. I'm not sure what I'm going to need down the road, but got my energy. That's the nice thing. I attached the double turbo. They didn't disrupt my hand, so I do that. I also Techno Radar. I will get rid of. I don't really know that I'm gonna. Well, Eri could be good to get. All right, I'll keep the Eri. I'm not sure that I really need that, so I'll grab 2. I don't think I want to bench both of them at this point, though. And I will attach my tool to the active because it gives me free retreat next turn, right? If assuming I don't get knocked out, which hopefully I don't, then so I have a lightning energy in hand, so I need to move the double turbo. And I can retreat. If they don't knock me out, I can switch to the bench, right? That's the idea here. So take the first prize, take the lead. Okay, got my 4th Iron Thorns in hand. So they advance to the active. They think they can knock me out. There's a decent chance they can, but we'll see. They need, what, 1, 2, 3. They need 4 energies, so they need to evolve and get 4 energies, which they obviously can't use their ability. So potentially they're going to miss the knockout, and they could hit into me. But, you know, is it going to be effective? I don't know there. So see what we do here. Yeah, so we'll see what they do. I think they're a bit stuck right now. I don't think they're I don't think they're going to take the knockout. They're deciding what to do. So they decided not to attack. I don't think I do have Pokégear. I really don't think I want to do that though. So I will just retreat. I might as well play the Eri, right? If they have Rare Candy in hand or Ultra Ball, which they could, getting rid of that will be very nice for me. So I'll do that. Nothing there. Oh, they play Ditto with Transformer to start. Okay, not the one that copies attacks, because that breaks the game. So okie dokie there. Do this, and I will just 120. I 2-shot them. They could put like so I'm gonna move the double turbo to the bench. I have Colress Tenacity in hand. I have Penny. If they hit into me, don't knock me out, I will Penny. That's really awesome. If they just have 3 energies, they come up short. So we'll see what they do here. They're obviously struggling, and I probably take out their Chien-Pao next turn. I would expect, you know, we will see. It's not a guarantee, but definitely feeling like I'm in a good position to take the knockout next turn. And Pokégear, I could get a boss. So they're going to boss. Okay. I mean, they thinned with the boss for Barrel. Okay, and I can still Penny. So this is well, okay, this has gone perfectly for me. I will Penny and take him out of play, and I can attach the double turbo. Whoop, not the boss, don't do that. That'd be very bad. Send you to the active, attach this. I'll attach the double turbo, I guess, and bench 1 and swing just in case they pull things off. And I will move the double turbo to the bench because I have lightning in hand. I have the tool on the active, so I always want to think, how can I attack the next turn? That, to me, that's kind of the little, look, the deck's not overly complicated. This is kind of a nice deck for grinding to Arceus on the ladder. It's in that, look, you can do it with a lot of decks. I talked about how you can do it with Snorlax, which works. The games are longer with that deck generally. All right, so they're getting, I assume they're going to evolve. Irida gets them the Excalibur and the Rare Candy there. But, you know, so potentially they could get a knockout. And as they accelerate energies, then that's very good for them. I don't have, well, I do have a Palpad. I mean, I do have Pokégear. I'm just trying to think, if they hit into me but don't knock me out again, I want to Penny, just to keep things, you know, keep them from taking prizes. So, you know, they're in a bit of a spot. So 1 to the active, which lets them retreat. We'll see if they're just playing the barrel at this point. So Ditto. Okay, so they're just thinning because Ditto's obviously not something they want in play. Wow, attaching a lightning energy there. That was a okay. I mean, I get it. They want to just thin the hand. Probably should have attached it somewhere else, though, I think. So I'm thinking I have game here, and at this point, I can retreat. I could play boss. I could take out the Excalibur, right? So, you know, that's what I do. The Ditto here is just so I can't, this is obvious. It does them no good at this point, essentially. So, so I'm going to retreat, send you up. I will attach here. Actually, I don't one-shot them, do I? So that's the problem here, right? So I'll attach my tool, and I mean, I could. I think I want to. Problem is, they're going to run to the bench again, aren't they? So do I just want to hit into them? I'm going to do this. I'm going to, if I take out the Baxcalibur over 2 turns too, that's really effective. So they need 2 energies to attach to Baxcalibur to retreat. So potentially this is very, very good. Move the energy so I have 1 Pokemon that can attack. They don't have energy in hand. I do have Colress's Tenacity. Ideally, the Baxcalibur is stuck there. That's what I want to do. So they played the Irida smartly, got a Baxcalibur in play, but weren't able to get a Chien-Pao in play, so essentially did nothing. And of course, without Chien-Pao's ability, that is a big blow to this deck. So all in all, this is a good matchup. They have Radiant Greninja, they can't use the ability, so I imagine they play Canceling Cologne. So 1 turn with the Canceling Cologne will let them take a knockout, right? So maybe they have Canceling Cologne, and now they're stacking 2 cards on top of the deck, and then using Radiant Greninja. Or maybe the other thing is that they have Safe Max Code Breaking. Sorry, they're down to 3 cards in hand, so they can play Barrel. They get these 2 cards, so they could get Canceling Cologne, but then they need a second. I don't know what they have in hand either. So we'll see. We will see what happens here. They're thinking things through. I'm not so sure there's going to be a good answer for them. But look, this game's not over. They have a lot. They can start one-shotting me if they get going, but getting going is difficult. So got the Chien-Pao in play, energy retrieval, so they can attach and retreat. So I think they got all 4 energy. They got 4. One of them's a lightning though. So they can't take the knockout. So we'll see what happens here. I might gust up. I might go for the boss play to take out the Baxcalibur. So I'm guessing they're going to hit into me. In which case, when they attach lightning, they're going to attack. They don't knock me out, so it's not a bad thing at all. And I can Penny, or I think I'd rather boss up the Baxcalibur, because that makes them that they're unlikely to do anything. They only have 1 card in hand, right? So probably they can't pull off what they want. So, but let's see what we have here. So I have Penny or I have boss. I think I want a boss here. I think that puts me in the best position. So I'll boss. I'm going to have to retreat in the... Well, I'm okay. I'm just trying to think through the energy cycling thing. I should have thought, gave them that more consideration as well. But I retreat here. Send him up. I could drop down another Iron Thorns. I don't think I want to, though. It complicates the energy situation a lot. So I'll just do that. Take the knockout. I'll move the double turbo. I have Colress Tenacity, so I should be able to get my energy for attack. But at this point, there's a good chance they can't get another Baxcalibur. They essentially, if they hit an Irida, then they can do it, right? But that's okay. I mean, they can do it. They can do it with Cypher Max Code Breaking. But they also really need to get the Canceling Cologne. Sorry, that's another card they need to make the whole turn sequence pay off. Now they can knock out if they get Radiant Greninja, they can take out the Iron Thorns on the bench, but they don't take out the active, right? So it's not a terrible spot. We'll see what they have. This could be a turn to Eri. All right, so they're going to get another Baxcalibur in play. They probably aren't going to get the knockout. This is the spot where if they got Canceling Cologne, they take 2 prizes, put pressure on me. Although it's tough. All their attacks discard energy, and they obviously with my initialization ability, it puts them in a very tough spot. They Chien-Pao plans on using its Shivery Chill and getting two water energies every turn with that, right? So that's part of their basic equation of how they get the energies to get the damage level they want. Okay, so they're just kind of pausing things, which makes a ton of sense. So I think I will do Colress's Tenacity. I could... Alright, what do I want to do here? I'll grab a... Let's think. If I move the basic energy over... Let's see. I do have... Let's see. Do I have... Okay, I'm just trying to think. I want to be able to attack next turn. So... I'll do this. Grab the stadium. I guess I'll chuck down the stadium. It doesn't particularly matter too much, right? Send you into the active. I will attach the Legacy Energy. That's good for me. I'll just kind of thin things out with this. So doing what, 40? I'll move the Lightning Energy, so now I can attack for a full. I can do 160. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I still don't one-shot. I can't one-shot a Chien-Pao, but I do two-shot them. I don't have access to boss next turn as things now stand. So Irida. So, okay. They didn't get a water Pokemon. If they could have, they probably should have grabbed one just to thin. I don't know if they didn't need a water Pokemon, right? Well, and maybe they didn't want to because they do want to get the hand size small. That's true as well. So are they going to retreat? They might retreat. Is their play? That's probably a smart play here. They could gust up the Iron Thorns on the bench. He only gives up one prize though. So if I get Iono, no, they played their support, right? They played Irida, right? So getting Iono wouldn't be good at this point. I need to get that in Iron Thorns. I've held off on that just to kind of keep things simple. So they're gonna take the knockout. If I draw a boss, I have game. I'm obviously super close to getting game here. Okay, and they only had to use one energy, so that wasn't bad either for them. And yeah, not bad. So yeah, he goes in the Lost Zone, but that's fine. I don't care. I was just kind of thinning things out with that play is all I was doing, really. So let me... Arven. Well, was that the play I wanted to make? Oh, it's the play I did make, obviously. Grab that, and... What's the item that I want? What was I thinking here? Pokégear for next turn, I guess? Yeah, Pokégear for next turn. That's the play there, I do believe. Okay. So I don't have access to energy, unfortunately. So drop down another Pokemon. I have to do that. Attach my tool. And I could Canceling Cologne. It doesn't really do anything. So I do 160 here. I will move the Lightning Energy because the most likely scenario is they knock out my active Pokemon. He has two energies, so he's the one that's worse for me, and that I can't. He's the one that's easiest to set up to attack next turn. I do have Pokégear, which I really need to get the Colress's Tenacity with, and there's only 2 copies in deck, so I might miss my energy next turn. I'm looking at missing an attack, and that's where I could lose the game. They have enough cards in hand. They might be able to pull off the knockout, which I don't, obviously not thrilled about. They've used 2 Super Energy Retrievals. I'm guessing they play 4. I don't know. They're not doing anything. They're thinking, or they're just stop playing. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Okay, so they got the Canceling Cologne, so they're going for it this play. Now, assuming they're going to knock out the active, they haven't played support yet, right? So what are they going to do here? So they're trying to figure out, they're trying to take prizes, right? Then there is a question of, can I attack next turn, right? If I can attack next turn, I have game. They're going to attack with Chien-Pao, I assume. They're being really slow here. I hope they're not just slow playing things. All right, well, the game's about to end. The timer's going to go to 0. We'll see if they concede first or not. Timer's down to 0, and of course they conceded, so my opponent wasted at least 15 minutes there, and I get it. It's a counter deck. You don't like going against it, but hey, you know, I don't think... Anyway, it is what it is. Got the win. You know, it's besides the unpleasantness at the end there, it's a favored matchup for Iron Thorns, and it did its thing quite nicely, and you know, got the job done. All right, see what happens here. It's been a rough go with this deck. The first game I rolled my opponent. I probably leave it in. They slowed played after a while, but the deck just won. It was a great matchup and worked well. The second game was a matchup I think I liked. It was a Goldengo EX, but I set up terribly. I got one Iron Thorns in play only, and I hit 0 supporters, and I couldn't attack. I couldn't get an energy to attack or anything. I was just looking at like basically some tools in my hand. And I drew like 3 turns, and then that was it. So that was just terrible. That was unlucky. And now these other matchups have been kind of tricky matchups. The one was a potentially, it was Regidrago V-Star, but they got the, you know, they got Noivern EX in the discard pile, and I did my best to try to make that work, but obviously it did not work, is what I will say. So I will attach, I'll toss the tool on as well, because I think I like that, and I will end turn. I have Pokégear, I have Boss, so that's not terrible. That's not terrible at all. So getting another Physian in play is good for them. So up against a Palafin EX deck. I assume Palafin EX is working properly. I think I tried it a little bit since the update. I think it's working correctly. You know, I think occasionally it's not working right, but you know, occasionally Pokemon just doesn't work right. Anyway, so more Pico for the free pivot. So okay. Unfortunately, you know, if they couldn't have gotten a second Physian into play, so I do want to make their lives a little more difficult here. So I think I'm going to take a chance, take out the Palafin, the Physian with the energy. If they can get set up this next turn, which they might, right? I'm going to just lose the game. They can one-shot me, and that part's not good. That part's not good at all. So I'm taking a chance here. But they've got to do the double switch, and I think I've put them in a more awkward spot. I took out the guy with energy, so they need to go from active to bench, back to active. Look, they have more Pico, so he's got the free retreat. They have to get energy, though. Oh, they got rid of Pheasantipity, so Pekkarunt. Okay, Pekkarunt for that's another switching card there. So, so they must not need him. So Irida, that might give them what they need, right? It might at this point. So let's see. So the Palafin, if they get the Palafin EX in play, I'm in a lot of trouble, right? I think I just lose the game. So now, I mean, they need to hit the energy. They might have it in hand, they might not. They just need, I believe it's just one energy, and they one-shot me. So they have free retreat. They just need one energy, and they win the game, right? So Artisan, but that doesn't get them what they need. So maybe... let's think. I don't one-shot them, right? I'm doing 140. I do 280. So there's... Okay, so they didn't get the knockout, so that's really good for me. Do I want to try to... I could boss them up. I don't think bossing them up's the solution, though. Do I? They just need an energy. They knock me out. But then I do follow up with the knockout, right? No, I need to get... I think I need Arven. That's what I need here. I could Iono, but Arven is the safe card, right? Arven is good. Okay. Because now I can... Yeah, Arven's what... That's the card I wanted. Grab this. Grab... So I can devolve... Actually, I can devolve him, right? So So I'm going to do a TM Devolution here. Just make their lives really miserable, I think. They did the work for one Palafin EX, and I believe this works. So I'm pretty sure it does. So let me get... I'll get 2 in play, just because I'm not positive about how this is all going to go. And is the game locking up on me? Let's not do that, please. Okay. Oh, I did the wrong tool. I did the complete wrong tool. I can't believe I did that. I can still use the tool because I do have the switching cards, so I'm going to retreat. I can't believe I made that mistake. So I will TM Devolution. That was really dumb of me. Just wasn't thinking clearly. And, right, the Bibero goes into hand, the Palafin EX goes into hand, and that is the nice thing, because now they can't use that Palafin, right? They can't get it reattached. They have to go through all the shenanigans to do it. So I like that turn of events. It makes their life a lot more difficult. I will see if they set up again easily, then it's not great. But if they do, you know, it's okay. So the opponent conceded, right? I think the TM Devolution really, you know, the really was what they needed. The Iron Thorns meant they couldn't use their, what was it, Pekarunt, the one that poisons and switches, right? Because that's an EX, so that ability was shut down. And of course, if they had any of those others, Pheasant Dippy or something, they were shut down as well. So the game I won, they were weak to me, but they one-shotted me. I was two-shotting them, but they had a much more difficult time setting up and got the W. All right, got the win last time against Palafin EX. They are weak to me, but also, you know, it's a lot of work to get that deck to set up. That's the thing. I haven't really done Palafin since I really haven't done. I don't know, I think I made something when it first came out because, you know, because they gave it to everyone and it didn't work. I don't know if I've made a video of it now that it works. And it is an intriguing Pokemon. Look, the stats are very good for it. Right? The tough part is it's a lot of work to get going. All right, taking a mulligan, which this deck takes a lot of mulligans. Only 4 basic Pokemon, so you're going to take mulligans. That's just a given. I'm glad I'm not playing it IRL because I'd have to do a lot of shuffling with it. So, and I don't love that. All right, so it's not terrible. My first or second. I'm second, so I can play Iono, so I'll attach Energy and play Iono. All right, Pidgeys, that's good because Pidgeot EX will not work unless they have Canceling Cologne. Charizard. Now, it only takes 2 energies to attack with Charizard, so they don't need necessarily their ability. They can still power it manually, but it makes it slower, it makes it tougher, and of course, not having Pidgeot EX is a major hit to them. So hopefully I'm gonna hope I get something on the bench, because if I do, no, not that. Iono, right? This is a really good play if I get another Iron Thorns on the bench. So time will tell. Okay, excellent. Got the TM Energize. What do I want to get rid of here? I'll get rid of the Iono, I guess. The Pokégear is good. The guaranteed energy is good as well. I mean, I could have ditched the Earthen Vessel as well. I'm going to fill up my bench. Sometimes I don't like to do that, but I feel like it's a part of it. That's when, you know, at this point, it's kind of how does it feel to me? It's a sense thing. It's not, I don't fully know when it's right or not, but that's obviously need to kind of figure that out. So I can get a basic energy with Earthen Vessel, Pokégear. I could Penny my active, and then I could just send up the guy on the bench. I have, you know, options here. So, okay, so the Duskull, so the Dusclops, the Dusknor, I don't shut down their abilities. So manually evolving here, not going to attack this turn. If I happen to, well, if I have to get a double turn, I need to get an energy and a boss, right? Actually, if I drew a tool, then I could use a boss. I could grab boss because I need to get an energy. If I got the tool, I could retreat to the bench. I don't play switch in the deck because I have the tool, which gives me free retreat. I think it's 3 copies in this list. I'm trying to remember. I think it was. I've seen varying numbers for them. I like the tool in the deck. I think it makes a lot better. If I can, obviously, I'd love to knock out the guy. All right, I need to, let me see what I hit here. I'd like to, that doesn't work though. So do I want to, I guess I want to Arven. Arven's good. I think I want to take the knockout here. They might knock me out next turn though. That part isn't good. But I think I want to get going here like that. I could I could devolve them as well, right? I could devolve them. Do I want to do that? No, I think I'm okay with the attack here. And then grab a Pokégear, I guess, because I might be able to boss them up next turn, right? It's a bit of an awkward situation here. So I'm gonna attack. I take the prize. That might just be a mistake. It's always hard to know. It's always hard to know. I'm gonna move the basic energy. Keep the legacy energy in the active. If they knock me out, they only take one prize for it. They're at 1-8. They're doing 210, so they need a little bit of energy buff at this point to take the knockout. Actually, they don't. They have Dust Skull, so if they knock themselves out, then they knock me out as well. So yeah. So I think that was the right play. I mean, I could have TM Devolutioned, and they couldn't have then attacked that turn. The question is, would that have set me up into a better position, though? Okay. Why are they doing that? Oh, maybe they can't attack this turn. Well, that's really good. So, I guess I just want a Penny here. Yeah, I guess I Penny. And I'll just Penny. I guess I take the knockout. I'm not loving it. I'll send up the guy with the special energy, and I will. I'm gonna move. I guess I drop down to Iron Thorns. I'm still not sure how this game's going. I'm gonna move the basic energy over, because then I can still attack with the active. If I get knocked out, my active Pokemon gets knocked out. He does. My opponent only takes one prize still. Now they're one-shotting me. They're now one-shotting me with Charizard EX. So that's the problem with taking two prizes. Do they send up the Charizard EX? Right? All they need is a fire energy. Now the good news is, with the terms of how this works for me, is they only play one fire energy in the deck, right? That's really good. They don't. Defiance Band is kind of pointless there. Like, it's tricky, right? Because they're now going to want, they do 180. So do I want to dig for something? This gets very weird now. Very, very weird. So I guess I want to put a energy on the guy on the bench. I'll grab the Lost City. Actually, Lost City is good. And I'm going to move the double turbo over. Keep the legacy in the active. I would have liked Lost City down earlier, actually. And I attack, take a third prize. So, my opponent is really struggling, so is what I'll say. And that is good for me. And I can attack next turn because I have Colress Tenacity. Got one was it Dust Snore? Is that the basic? Dust Skull, sorry, out of play. So, and they have one more in deck, but, honestly, it doesn't really matter for this match. At this point, the Dusclops line doesn't matter. Dusclops, Dust Snore doesn't matter, I don't think, because they're one-shotting me. There's nothing I can do the rest of the game. It's about, can they attack, right? That's all it is. So, so they haven't been able to hit energy, so that's really good. Should I try to boss? The thing is, I'm two-shotting them now, right? So the reality is, I two-shot them. How many bosses have I played? Oh, none. I thought I played. Okay, I thought I had gusted something up, so that's good. So potentially, I can now win the game without taking out Charizard EX. So Charizard EX is a lot of work. So I think I just Penny this guy. I could grab the maybe I. Let's see. I have the tool. I guess I'll grab the tool and switch to the bench here. I'll do that. I'll grab my that, and I will grab Pokégear. The TM Devolution is still potentially very good as well at some point. So I'll do this. I'll retreat to the bench. Send up the guy. Do I want to keep the guy with the tool? I'm going to send up the guy without the tool. And it's a bit of a risk here. It is a risk that I might not be able to do anything this next turn. But I'll move this. They could take 2 prizes, but again, that's okay. I'm not going to freak out over that. This next turn, depending what happens, I may have to Penny. I have to get a double turbo to attack this turn, and I don't know, which means I could get an Arven for that. But, you know, bossing up the Charmander would be really nice. So my opponent is looking to me like they're going to attack this turn. And can I make this work now is going to be rough. Okay, they're going to get... Maybe they want to get the Dusclops out of play. If they leave him there... Okay, this is awkward, right? Very awkward. So... I'm 3-shotting them, right? Period. I 3-shot them. Just that's it, right? So I'll Penny up the active. And, yeah, I'll do that. Send him up. Can do this. Just, I can now... I'll move over the double turbo. 140. So, I mean, I 3-shot them, and... They've got a... So I should have game at this point. It's still tricky. It's still tricky. You know, the Charizard's just scary. I also could grab... I could devolve him as well, right? And I could knock him out by devolving because he's at 90 HP. But at this point... Well, this is very, very nice for me. So I'll just retreat here. I'll send up... I'll send him up into the active. I will do this. I'll just move the single energy because I think that gives me the best odds of attacking next turn. And I should be on pace now for the knockout, right? I do believe. So they're at 70. Yeah, so I just finish them off next turn. I could boss. I have to switch to boss, which I don't have guaranteed at the moment with this play I made. So they get him out of play. But the thing is, I mean, you know, that's not very good for them. So if I can get if I pull off the switch, I can now I got the W. I was trying, you know, this was the type of game where obviously they didn't try to get Charizard EX back into play because it was no good for them. I think their biggest struggle is they only play 6 energies probably in the deck. That's kind of generally where it's at. Charizard EX is tremendous deck. But a couple the Dust Lore line didn't help because they one-shot me anyway. And yeah. So you know, and it was about, from the gameplay side, it was all about how did I manage that switching to the bench, right? They're moving the energy around, and could I keep attacking consistently to keep things simple, right? Wanted to protect myself so I couldn't get myself into a bad board state because I could always vulnerable to an Iono. But just keeping in mind the energy switch between the tools to free retreat and the Penny, and that's the interest in terms of the decision making for a game like that, and trying to navigate that. I didn't fully maximize it, but did it well enough, and certainly got the W. And so the deck worked. Let's just take a look at the 60 in detail now. All right, so taking a look at the 60 in the deck here. Sorry about the ramble at the end of that last game, but it'll happen sometimes. So Iron Thorns EX, look, it's a very solid Pokemon. 230 HP, a decent HP. Retreat cost of 4. That's bad, but the tool gives it free retreat, so that's okay. Initialization ability, shutting down abilities of Rulebox Pokemon, not just EXs and Vs, but also Radiant Pokemon, so that's so nice there. Really causes a lot of disruption. Pheasantipity is really good as well to even single prize decks. So they rely on that like United Wings, so it's a plus into almost every matchup now. And hitting for lightning weakness isn't bad. It's doing between 120 if you have double turbo and 160 if you have not double turbo and the tool attached. So 120, 140, 160, not bad. You're putting some pressure on. Which is really important. Decks that are just a wall, that don't put much pressure on, they're very tough to win. But when you put that little bit of pressure on, it does make things work. There's a couple other Pokemon that could go in the deck. The Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon can definitely go in the list, right? With its Corner Stance ability. It's immune to damage from Pokemon with an ability. That's really good. You want to be able to attack with it. So you need Fighting Energy or Luminous Energy for that, and Mimikyu as well. You know what that does, right? With it walls off with the Safeguard ability, it walls off EXs and Vs. They can't damage it. So you can definitely put those in the deck. That might be the better way to play it. For this, I wanted to just try out Colress's Tenacity, and I definitely got a sense of where that's at. So I'll talk about that when I get to the trainers. But anyway, the Energies 4 double turbo. You want 4 double turbo. It just helps pay the attack costs. 4 basic lightning energy. You need lightning energies, and then Legacy Energy is the ace spec I play because it's all true prize Pokemon with this build. So therefore, rather than winning with 3 prizes, now they have to take 4 prizes or 4 knockouts. I'm sorry, instead of 3. Sorry, yeah, it's not. They need 6 prizes, but to get 6 prizes now they need 4 knockouts, not 3, and that's a big deal. Just extending the game by a turn, or even more than a turn. So I do like that as the ace spec. If you play the Mimikyu though, in particular, then you have a single prize Pokemon, so the math changes. So maybe you want to swap out the Legacy Energy for Hero's Cape or Prime Catcher. I'm not sure. I'd have to think that one through. Then the ace spec I might shift. All right, so supporters first. The only way to get Pokemon to play is Techno Radar, but it's really good. You just play 2 copies of that. We eventually, it almost always works out. If you're nervous, you could put a 3rd copy of Techno Radar in, but 2 copies is fine because we play the 4 Arven, so that works. Night Stretcher, honestly, I put it in the deck. I'm not sure if I ever used it, so that you could cut that for something else, I would say. But Colress Tenacity, that was really the one to test, and it really makes the deck a lot better. So Iron Thorns was solid. It was a very viable deck on the ladder to win games. It's now taken a major step up, being able to look for that special energy, and it'll help other decks as well. So we'll have to think through what other decks that might want it. You can let me know in the comments if other decks that searching for that special energy will push it over the top. And just running through things. 4 Judge, a lot of supporters. 4 Judge, 4 Arven, 2 Eri. Eri, honestly, the deck doesn't really need Eri. I think that could get cut for something else. 4 Iono, 3 Penny, because we just want to, it's a way to help with it does healing, it's a way to do the switching, it's really good. 4 Boss's Order, 4 Pokégear 3.0 to search for a supporter. So really good. A lot of supporters, a lot of good supporters. In a lot of turns, you don't have to, you have an option of what supporters you need to make your turns happen. So, like I said, Eri could probably go from the deck. I do like TM Energize. That's really good. If you go second, setting up your game, that's kind of my go-to plan there. And then what did I also say? I have the TM Devolution. That's really good. Maybe a second copy of that because it can't recover it, and that can be very effective. Like in that last game against Charizard EX, if I devolved and then devolved, if I had a second one, I might have used the TM Devolution earlier in the game. Again, I don't know if that would have been the right play, but a second one may be the right thing. Okay, 2 copies of Canceling Cologne because we lose to Mimikyu in particular, something like that. So it makes that matchup winnable between Canceling Cologne and we play 3 copies of Lost City, right? You got to get those Mimikyus out of play. Lost City helps in other matchups as well. 1 copy of Earthen Vessel. I wouldn't mind a second copy with playing the 4 Arvens. That's useful. If I cut the Aries, I might drop in a second Earthen Vessel, I got to say. Lost Vacuum can be useful. Earthen Booster Energy Cap, Future Booster Energy Capsule, just good in the deck. You do more damage, and it gives you the pivot. What else do I have? I think I mentioned TM Energize, and I think I mentioned everything else. Boss, of course, is awesome. Techno Radar. So that's the list. Look, it's got a lot of supporters. So certainly this is not a deck if your opponent were to play Pokégear. The one to discard, the Stadium discard. You know what I'm talking about. not Pokégear 3.0, but oh man, terrible. Right, you don't want to use that because it's just terrible for you, right? Pokestop, that's what it was. Poke something. So right, because the odds are you're gonna end up discarding a lot of supporters, right? Or your Pokemon or your energy. You're probably gonna discard or your tools. You have very few items in the deck, so Pokestop would be a brutal stadium to use. Although you may have to, right? You hope you hit a Pokégear and then you can go from there. Anyway, a very good deck. It's situational. It's matchup dependent, obviously. But a strong deck, don't be afraid to try it out. And if you haven't played it before, definitely give it a try. If you played it out before, weren't thrilled about it, try it again because Colress's Tenacity is a big boost to the deck. So take care, have some fun, and play some Pokemon.